Greetings, friends of the universe. Today we are going to talk about the mysterious esoteric and occult group known as the Vril Society and the incredible messages and information received by Maria Orsic from an advanced, ancient extraterrestrial civilization. Let's start. During World War II, the Germans yearned for any advantage over their opponents. Whether it was technology, intelligence, or strength, they wanted to be the best of the best. When Maria Orsic, a young German nationalist, came forward to share her remarkable gifts, the Nazis were delighted. What they discovered about her was more spectacular than anyone could ever have imagined. Maria Orsic could communicate with extraterrestrials. Maria Orsic was a medium and the leader of a Nazi secret society known as the Vril that existed in the World War II era. The Vril Society was established after Orsic received communication from extraterrestrials who had once lived in what is now Sumeria. These beings eventually departed Earth for the Aldebaran solar system. To our understanding, they could potentially be the Anunnaki. The Vril named themselves after the ancient Sumerian word Vril, meaning godlike. The Vril members were attractive young women who grew their hair all the way down past their hips, which was extremely uncharacteristic of the times. The logic for growing their hair to such an extravagant length centered around their belief that human hair acts as an antenna to receive telepathical messages and eventually making contact with extraterrestrials. Perhaps this is the reason why almost all of the Pleiadians or other spiritual and telepathic humanoid species have long hair. The Vril members believed that they could use their telepathic abilities to communicate with these otherworldly beings and give the Nazis some sort of advantage over their opponents. Maria Orsic began getting messages in an unknown language and couldn't transcribe them, so began meeting with psychic mediums and with key members of secret esoteric societies, one of which is the Order of the Black Sun, an organization so feared that it is now illegal to even print their symbols in modern Germany. The messages supposedly came from the star system of Aldebaran, an orange giant located about 65 light-years away in the zodiac constellation of Taurus, which they believed has two planets which form the Sumerian Empire. In the Sumerian Empire were said to exist two classes of people: the Aryan, or original, pure race, and a subservient race, which had devolved or developed in a negative fashion as a result of mutation from climatic changes, likely due to nuclear fallout. Here is some information from Peter Moon's book called The Black Sun. A half-billion years ago, the Aryans, known as the Elohim, or elder race, began to colonize our solar system as Aldebarans became uninhabitable. Marduk, existing in what is today the asteroid belt, was the first to be colonized, then Mars. When they came to Earth, these Aryans were known as the Sumerians. Here is a more detailed summary of messages the Vril medium had received over the years and which formed the basis for all further actions by the Vril. This material is not science fiction but represents truly what was going on in the inner core of Thule and Vril. It should be emphasized to the reader that even if you don't believe a word of this, it's irrelevant. They believed it, and they built at least two very complicated secret societies around it, and these societies became quite powerful and influential. Here is the message. The solar system Aldebaran has a sun around which revolve two inhabited planets that form the Empire Sumerian. The population of the Aldebaran system is divided into the original, pure race of people, Aryans, and several other human races that had evolved by genetic mutation from the parent population because of climatic changes brought about by nuclear war upon the planets. The more the races intermixed, the lower the spiritual development of these people collectively sank, which led to the situation that when the sun Aldebaran began expanding, they could no longer maintain the space travel technology of their forefathers and could not leave the planets by their own means. The genetically degraded races, totally dependent upon the master race, had to be evacuated and were brought to other inhabitable planets. They colonized our solar system, starting with the planet Malona, also called Maldek, Mardek, or Phaeton among Russians, that existed at that time between Mars and Jupiter, now occupied by the asteroid belt. Despite their physical and cultural differences, all the races respected one another and did not interfere with each other, neither the so-called genetically pure people nor the mutated hybrid races. Each respected that the others just made their own developments, in contrast to what happens on Earth. Members of the Vril Society believed that Aldebaranians landed on Earth following global cataclysms when the planet became slowly habitable again in the region of Mesopotamia. Re-establishing civilization, they formed the dominant ruling nobility of the Sumerians and various other early societies, governing through an elite bloodline and segregated caste system. Interracial interbreeding was strictly taboo. The mediums were said to have had also received precise information about the civilizations on the inhabited planets situated around the sun Aldebaran, and a one-way trip was scheduled to depart towards the Pleiades to reunite. Maria Orsic transcribed the information in two different scripts. The first was a secret German Templar language that she did not personally understand. The second was an ancient language that historians commonly link to the German occult group known as the Thule. Most of these scholars are in agreement that this language stems from ancient Sumeria, where the extraterrestrials once thrived. Once the transcriptions were translated into German, the Vril were shocked. The ancient race had given Orsic extremely detailed instructions for constructing a flying saucer. Researchers believe that the information channeled by Maria Orsic led to Nazi Germany's creation of futuristic flying saucers. Some historians point to the alleged Nazi use of so-called Foo Fighters, or unidentified flying objects, during World War II as evidence of the country's superior aircraft technology. These flying vessels were sphere-shaped and glowed with an intense light, and some believed they were capable of scrambling their enemies' communication. At the end, the Vril Society suddenly disappeared without a trace. Their bodies were never found. While no one can be sure exactly where they went, a final letter from Maria Orsic to the Vril members stated, "No one is staying here." It's possible that the Vril used Orsic's channeled instructions to build a spacecraft and leave the planet. It seems that Orsic was intent on communicating with the extraterrestrials in the Aldebaran solar system for a purpose. After receiving instructions for building a flying saucer, it makes sense that the Vril departed Earth for Aldebaran. Those who believe Orsic departed Earth for Aldebaran argue that the top-tier members of the Vril Society, along with other German secret societies like the Thule, had adequate financing from Adolf Hitler's regime for the construction of flying saucers. After all, Germany's leading engineer, Werner von Braun, made no secret of the fact that the Nazis received an abundance of technical information from extraterrestrials before and during the war. Another popular claim from Nazi Germany historians is that Maria Orsic provided all of her channeled information to a rising star within the Nazi Party named Rudolf Hess. According to this theory, Orsic supplied Hess with every last detail of her communications with the Vril as a means of expressing her German nationalism. Hess went on to become an influential figure in the Nazi Party. If theorists are correct, Hitler and his henchmen relied on Maria Orsich's detailed channelings to create an array of flying saucers and other high-tech weapons for use in the war. These theorists also believe the Nazis funded millions of dollars to a top-secret program dedicated to mastering flight with flying saucers and other UFO aircraft. A fellow German space pioneer named Hermann Oberth echoed von Braun's claims that the Germans had knowledge of extraterrestrials. Oberth was one of the German Reich's top rocket designers during World War II. Though he moved on to work for the United States space program's push to send men into outer space, Oberth is best remembered for his statements linking the Nazis to extraterrestrials. According to Oberth, the Nazis could not take credit for their advancement in an array of scientific fields. Like von Braun, Oberth claimed the Nazis received extensive assistance from a super-intelligent alien life form. Oberth referred to these Vril aliens as people of other worlds. If one takes Oberth and von Braun at their word, it becomes clear that the Nazi government obtained significant military assistance from highly advanced aliens. Many conspiracy theorists believe Maria Orsich's channelings served as the initial point of connection between Germans and these uber-intelligent extraterrestrials. Those who believe in the Vril theorize that they either live below the surface of the Earth or in the Aldebaran solar system. The disappearance of Maria Orsich and her followers remains a mystery. Perhaps these women decided to leave our war-torn planet with the help of an ancient race. Perhaps Orsich lived the remainder of her life on an unknown planet in the Aldebaran solar system. What is your opinion on the matter? Do you believe this ancient Aldebaran aliens are the so-called Anunnakis, who are mentioned many times in the ancient Sumerian tablets as those who came from the stars? Thank you for watching. Please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe.